Thank you very much for attending the meeting. Can you put your mobile phones on silent or turn them off the remainder of the meeting? There's no programme fire alarm this evening, so if the alarm does go off, it will be necessary for you to leave the building by the recognised route and meet outside the Chinese restaurant, where we'll take a roll call. The method of voting for approval, objection or abstentions is by raising of hands when called for. What else is there? I think that's about it. Have you all received your councillor packs? Thank you. Okay. Are there any speakers this evening? Obviously not.
We have no speakers booked in.
Thank you. Apologies for absence.
We have apologies from councillors Haddon and Pearce.
Thank you very much. Are there any declarations of interest that concerns any item on the agenda this evening? That be in person or pecuniary? No, none. Item 4, to consider and approve the meeting minutes of the Planning Committee on the 3rd of June 2026. Could I have a proposer for that, please? Can I have a seconder for that? So it's Councillor Willis and are there any matters arising out of that's what I need to vote for on first? All in favour? Thank you. Okay. Are there any matters arising from those meeting minutes you wish to discuss at this meeting? No. Chairman's report. My main report is on the Horsham Association of Local Councils meeting approximately a week ago, and to deal basically with the local plan. I've got some notes here which I'm going to distribute to you afterwards. Basically, the housing numbers for Horsham District Council are 14,071, plus Crawley Borough Council unmet needs of 3,757, giving a total of 18,678. There's a shortfall against requirement of 2,753 homes plus any headroom. The inspector is expecting Horsham District Council to achieve over the plan period 20,100 homes, which is a higher growth scenario than previously requested. I asked two questions on these items. One were these targets achievable? Barbara Charles said they're very challenging at the best of cases, and I also asked the question about the build-out rates. Would these make sure that they were dealt with within the plan period? And the reply was that's down to market conditions. At this current time, it'll be very challenging. Potential additional strategic sites under consideration is land at Adversane, expansion east of Billingshurst, land west of Billingshurst, and land at Buck Barn. Questions I asked on this are: is there only one site required or all sites? The answer was hopefully one site, but then that was added to by a district councillor that was here, but others may be needed depending on the build-out rates. The question again was the build-out rates for the houses that they've allocated or are going to allocate under strategic sites. Have they done anything on that? Barbara Child said it's very challenging again, and it's going to be down to market conditions. Additional strategic sites 1, 2, 3 and 4. Land at Adversane, potential for allocation, assists the secondary school provision. Some possible issues around speed of delivery, a railway bridge, housing markets will need some transport mitigation. Expansion east of Billingshurst, which is land south of the railway bridge, now being actively promoted again, in addition to 650 homes already in the submitted plan. Land west of Billingshurst, a standalone addition allocation, should it be necessary to build numbers for the secondary school provision. But there are issues that are still not resolved in that. Land at Buck Barn, potential for allocation, better placed in terms of the housing market, road transport, less well placed for education, active and sustainable transport perspective. I asked a question regarding the secondary school, and I was told this is a necessity and will be part of the plan, and would be built during the housing plan or between the plan period. Sources of additional housing. They're going to reappraise the delivery sites and some existing sites or allocations north of Horsham, west of Ifield, and be able to build out, which will be able to build out faster than initially expected in the plan period. Now the constant constraint of water neutrality has fallen away. I asked a question on water neutrality, and although Natural England have actually reduced the requirement for water neutrality, there's still various, again, according to them, challenging figures to be met by the housing numbers. The allocation of non-strategic sites, additional strategic locations and main sites are being all revisited for additional housing. And also permissions stroke appeals will be added to the list that also contribute to supply. This means that developments that were considered speculative have now become necessary. Key dates for the local development scheme. Local plan time updated by Cabinet on the 20th May 2026, based on discussions with the inspector and working alongside with Sussex District Council. They attended the HALP meeting, which was part of this these strategic dates on the 22nd of June 2026. The main modification proposals considered by Cabinet in July 2026. Main modifications, consultations, July and August 2026, and summary of representations, September 2026. Hearings in October 2026, including discussions on allocations, but precise details to follow, and up to the inspector. Receive the inspector's report expected December 2026. Adoption of the new local plan in January 2027. That is a breakdown of all the documentation that's submitted. I've got all the slides. Happy to share them. I'll send them over to Julie tomorrow, sharing. There's some copies of these here, my notes on it, but I'll also attach that to documentation. It was really good to see Horsham District Council so well represented at the Horsham Association of Local Councils. They had 4 officers, and I can't remember his name, the district councillor that attended. You saw him walking across the car park. Martin Boffey, yeah. Martin wasn't expected to attend, but I did notify Barbara that I was asking some questions on the local plan, so he specifically came along on that and spoke to me afterwards about it. I think it's extremely good that they are working alongside the parishes. They've offered to come along to a full council meeting and do another representation if we wish them to do so. And I think it would be good if we could find a venue for that, because Southwater undoubtedly are going to be taking circa 1,000 houses in addition to the houses that we've already taken. And with the sites that have been the speculative sites close to Shipley, those figures are going to increase quite considerably, especially with windfall sites when they're added to it. And I think realistically we could be expecting to look at 1,500 houses within this current plan period. There is quite a lot of infrastructure works that are going on to assist with Southwater, but I think we have to prepare the residents of Southwater for a situation that there's going to be a 30% expansion in the village within the total plan period. I think to say anything else to them would be a situation that we're not preparing them properly for what's going to come. We have not got a direct say in the strategic sites. These are government figures that have come down to Horsham District Council, and they have literally no option. We can argue them, we can perhaps get some of them postponed, but I think effectively Southwater are going to have to accept quite an increase in the residents within Southwater. I can answer questions if you've got any. I think I've summed it up as best I can. There's very little we could do to challenge this, Malcolm.
Yes, so just just to clarify, we've only got the one strategic site, and then we've obviously got Horsham Golf and Fitness Village and the two developments in Shipley Road.
Yeah.
So we have existing permissions in those three plus one strategic site.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. So in terms of preparing the residents, it's preparing them for the strategic site because the other permissions are already.
The other positions are in place, but I think we also need to prepare that, we need to take a look and engage with Horsham District Council regarding the doctor's surgery, and obviously where this secondary school is going to be placed, whether it's going to be placed where we want it to, or whether it's going to be moved out of South Water. It was an intimation at the meeting that they haven't fixed the position of the secondary school. So I think there's quite a lot of preparation. If we're being honest with the residents, there's quite a lot of preparation that we've got to do to deal with these situations and let them know the worst case scenario. This isn't a situation where party politics come into the situation to anything to do with this. These are central government figures that each local authority, regardless of whether they're Conservative, Liberal Democrat or Labour, will have to deal with within the South East. And if, say, in 3 years' time, the Labour government's not here, the Conservative government will still be using the same figures because we haven't got enough housing within the country. And without taking a lot of green space up elsewhere or increasing density of developments, unfortunately, it's a sign of the times. Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, sorry. You butted in.
Sorry.
No, you go
No,
first.
you first.
No, go
I
on.
wouldn't want to step on your toes.
You've got your last
I'd like you to step on his toes if you'd want to.
one of his three.
So I don't know if anyone else did, but on the news the other day it was mentioned that Horsham are preparing their plan about how they want to develop their area. So they're actively doing that. But when you talk about the school and Archer, is that Horsham deciding where that is, or is that Berkeley Homes deciding where it's going?
Horsham will be deciding where it is, depending on the housing numbers, and I would imagine the build out. What's going to be built out first, because the school is going to go with the first set of build outs, I believe. But I mean that will come up probably. That will be positioned. We know that by January. I mean, they're saying January. I mean, you've got January to March. This will be decided.
Because I think from the people I've spoken to who are at the north end of Southwater, where the traffic comes in, their main concern is that there won't be the infrastructure put in to take the traffic out of where the roads are at the moment. And that's their biggest concern. If they're going to put all the houses in, that they don't build the roads around the sides to take those traffic away from it.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we can make a concerted effort. The last time this cropped up, I commissioned a traffic plan, which Southwater Parish Council actually paid for, and that could be renewed because it shows with the existing Berkeley development that the two roundabouts are log jammed or will be log jammed once the developments are complete. Berkeley's did take that on board and made some additional alterations to Hop Host, but I don't think they've made enough alterations to Hop Host. And I think my feeling is, and I was speaking to a transport specialist today on it, that there may be the need for some situations where they're going to put traffic controls on the roundabouts, because
I think also the other thing is to, in the plan where the houses go, where the school goes, is to not allow access onto existing roads, so then people have to go a different way rather than use the existing roads.
Yeah, I think we can. I think certainly we can put pressure on the highways department, and I don't think Horsham District Council are going to be a situation where we're going to have to apply much pressure to them, because from the discussions I had, I think they are feeling the pressure from central government, and where certain things could be done that would ease that pressure, I think we'll get their support.
Well, certainly, I think then we should be carry on as you have, actively involved with, working with them.
They're within London. They do a scheme around where the schools are, where traffic is prohibited during the school term, like open closing times. So all the traffic is pushed back away. and that does control the traffic quite well.
I think one of the things that the residents are going to kick up about, and that's the Crawley Borough Council on Met Needs 3,757. That needs more explanation because, I mean, whichever way you work it, that's 20% of the housing, and it does need explain. I mean, I've had an explanation of it, but as every time I've seen a district take housing from another district, they've never actually achieved those housing figures. So why put pressure on residents by putting out figures there that nobody wants to achieve? Unless you have something you want to say on it, Malcolm. I know you do.
Yeah, I was just going to say, duty to cooperate is being phased out, I believe, but all of it is under duty to cooperate.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're in a position with Mid Sussex as well, where they're needing to take some of the need there from Crawley, and Crawley has had obviously rapid expansion over the years, so it is a problem. But unfortunately, we are in a situation as well where we've got the South Downs National Park as well, where that can't take any housing because it's not possible. So unfortunately, we are the space in the middle, and the coastal authorities are struggling as well, and then they come up to the South Downs National Park too. So unfortunately, we are in a position where in the future we are going to be a target for additional developments.
I agree, but I think we need to be arguing for a new town within
I agree.
within
I agree with
West
that
Sussex.
completely.
Otherwise, these impositions are going to happen on every parish throughout West Sussex, and I mean, it's become obvious, you know, in the last sort of 6 or 9 months with negotiations that we're trying to do with recreation, sporting facilities. Nothing's being taken into account by the developer. That's, I mean, it's a no money gain for the developer, so it's always going to be quite difficult. And I believe we've got a lobby of Horsham District Council. I don't think it'll be a hard lobby, but for better sporting facilities, because where we can put sporting facilities in place and or green spaces there, it's going to reduce the density of the village. It may increase the footprint of the village, but that in itself is not detrimental to the living standards. Anything detrimental to the living standards is an increase of density, which causes policing problems and causes lots of other problems. So I think, you know, one of the things we're going to be looking at on the neighbourhood plan is that how we go out there and actively meet with the organisations and talk to them about what is required within Southwater. And it may come down to a situation that in previous years the residents have left it to us to decide. I think now is the time perhaps we have a full council meeting and decide to go out and spend some money and find out, tell the residents what's happening and ask their opinion on it. Because over the last couple of days, and it's to do with a controversial planning application, people have been saying, well, we didn't know about it. And I know it was in consultations with the neighbourhood plan, within the local plan, and they're saying nobody told us about it because they're not reading the documentation that's out there. And I think we have to simplify it, and we have to go out in big bold letters and say, this is what's going to happen. This is what your village is going to look like in 2040. You need to prepare for it.
Just to stay on the subject of the school, I think it would be a good learning exercise for us to look at the Mowbray development and Bowhunt and the chronic traffic issues around there that are well known, so that we can learn from that experience of a new build development and a secondary school going in, and even to the extent you've got people parking on the roundabout on Rusper Road there, and getting out their car on the roundabout to drop their kids off.
Yeah.
It's really bad, and I think if we can learn from that so that there is a proper plan in place for people travelling into the village by car, and in reality people that are going to be coming in from Horsham Golf and Fitness Village, once that's built, they're probably going to come in by car. I think the inspector actually commented that people will probably come in by car when he kind of went found a way of getting around active travel in his
Well, that's right.
recommendation.
I mean, looking at the principles of it, I mean, when you take a lot of these inspectors' reports at the moment, what they're actually saying as well is that cars aren't as important as they were because they're going to be carbon neutral. Where you had big diesels coming in there, throwing out nitrous oxide all over the place, there could be a reason for sort of saying, well, it's damaging to health, but they're not saying that anymore.
Mr. Chairman, one of the things you'd said about we've got to make sure that the people of Southwater are aware of what's likely to happen. If we go back to 2018, around there, where Horsham were required to provide a local plan. Now we're 8 years further on. There's still no local plan. There was infighting then of how it was working and how it should work. It got to a stage where we thought there was a local plan, and that was thrown out. Now we're being told that those numbers back in 2018, because it was around about 1,000 per year, that they were being targeted on, and Horsham at the time said, we don't think we can do this. And now the inspector has said, we're going to hit 2,000 a year. And that the change then, that's nearly 100% increase, that will have a resounding effect around all the communities, because they couldn't see how they were going to achieve those old targets, which everybody was sort of objecting to, because it just meant that more green fields were being built on. And then suddenly we've got this bigger target, which the officer said, we don't think is a showstopper. Well, if it wasn't a showstopper, why in 2018 could they not get a local plan together? It was a showstopper then, and I think it could be a showstopper again. When you look at this, and then we're trying to convince the residents of Southwater of the importance of a neighbourhood plan, we'll be saying, well, look, the neighbourhood plan that we had needs renewing, which it does do, and that is correct, and that had the correct amount of development assigned to it. You're going to have to take more because of a strategic decision. They could well then argue, well, if strategic decisions override neighbourhood plans, what are the benefits of the neighbourhood plans? And I think we've got to have a good case there to argue that. But I think when you look at the land that's been set aside, and it is green, open country fields, they're farmland and a mixture of that, we will change the character of this part of West Sussex through this level of development. And there's no doubt when you read the inspector's report, he has no concern for that whatsoever. Now, if we believe, as people that live here, that is an element we should protect, then we're going to have to try and raise the importance of that. Because when I see the inspector's report, those are the figures we need. You're just going to have to get on with it, and that's something that we're going to have to wrestle with ourselves. But my last bit is I still am not clear about which local plan Horsham District are preparing, because we've got a local plan that the government inspector looked at, and they've agreed some modifications and changes, and then there's a new local plan, which is the one with a different set of figures. Is it is it a brand new local plan, or is it the old emerging local plan revisited? I'm not completely clear how it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old plan, the old emerging plan that's been revamped. In essence, I mean, it's a new style local plan, as they put on there. I don't know what they actually mean by a new style local plan, but it is the old. There's a lot of the old emerging plan which is still relevant because we hadn't got to 2031, so we weren't out of the plan period previously. There's going to be changes to education. There's going to be changes to infrastructure, so there will be a lot within the emerging plan that can be reused, but there will also be a lot of investigation with various authorities to find out what's going on. The neighbourhood plan is going to be just important. I think we need to change the emphasis of the neighbourhood plan. If you run the principles that developers will only develop where they can make money, we can actually use different building codes. We can actually increase the quality of the housing that we require within Southwater. We can try and increase the public open space and open spaces. We can try and add needs for recreation and sporting facilities. And when you get developers having to pay for those and community infrastructure levy, they will probably say, well, is it essential we develop within Southwater, or do we look for somewhere where things aren't as tough? So that's something that the neighbourhood plan needs to look at. And I think there's good possibilities that we can actually help Horsham out here. Well, Southwater can, and probably with Horsham Association of Local Councils, if we can help other parishes out with renewal of neighbourhood plans, things like this, with some of our building codes that we can put together, I think it could help a lot. Picking on what Malcolm was saying about having, the South Downs National Park, when you go up to the Lake District and other areas like that, they've got huge national parks there. And what they do is, where development is nothing's within the park, but they grade the development moving outwards from the park. So you can't say just because you're a mile away from it, you get a lot of development. It's a staged situation which moves out, and they are actively looking at new towns. And we can't keep on going here with this sort of numbers and have the living conditions that we've expected over the last 15 years.
No, I agree. I think a problem that how it's being approached at the moment is you develop communities that have adequate infrastructure and you just keep developing them and expanding them. That takes away an identity. It takes away, you lose a lot by doing on that method. You're far better looking at a new town rather than getting an existing town to become an urban area. You lose that.
Right, thanks. Item 7, correspondence. We got anything worth noting? No, good.
Item 6.
Sorry?
Item 6.
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry. I thought I'd probably done that.
Nothing to report.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, we have done it then. Item 7, correspondence.
I have one item, but I'll cover that under item 11.
Okay, Sussex Community Housing Hub.
Sussex Community Housing Hub have been postponed until the next meeting on the 2nd of September.
Okay, highways, drainage, street lighting, names, numbers, footpaths, rights of way.
It's noted that the gullies along Worthing Road have now been cleared, which is good news, so hopefully we won't get any more flooding along there. Roadworks taking place in Southwater in the coming weeks include the removal of a tree on Mill Strait tomorrow between 9:30 and 3:30. There will be two-way traffic controls there, so we can expect a bit of congestion. Utility repair works by Southern Water on Little Bridges Close and Cedar Drive, 5th to the 8th of July. College Road and Worthing Road near the Junior Academy on the 9th to the 13th of July. Utility repair works by Openreach on Anvil Close to Timber Mill, 2nd to the 6th of July, daytime. And a lane closure at Buck Barn Junction of Worthing Road northbound for highway repair works on the 13th of July, 9:30 till 3:30. Advance notice of works. There's a 24-hour road closure for a new water connection on Tower Hill outside Stoneleigh in the Granary from the 27th to the 31st of July. So that is a road closure. There's a road closure at Broadwater Lane between the junction of Water's Edge and Polecat Lane for a stop-tap relocation works. The diversion, though, is through Southwater, so Southwater Street and down Worthing Road, so it will impact us, and that's the 24th to the 28th of August. And then just notification of a rolling road closure on the 27th of September affecting 2 Mile Ash, Christ Hospital and Milepost Road for the Barnes Green Half Marathon. All details will be on the website as usual.
Thank you very much. Neighbourhood plan.
Horsham District Council have started the consultation, which went out on the 19th of June and will run until 5 p.m. on the 7th of August. Emails have been sent to all consultation partners and shared on our website and social media.
Thank you. 11, community governance review. Just to note the responses to the consultation that were included within your pack.
I have a bit more to add to that as well.
Okay. I thought you wanted to watch football.
I did want to watch the football, but you need to be aware of this. Having had discussions with the Community Governance Review team yesterday, I have been made aware that there are proposals that have been put forward that will affect Southwater. The neighbourhoods that will be affected will be written to, and the residents are asked to respond. I will be sent the full details of those changes, but high level, it's areas of Shipley Road, Tower Hill and Den Park. So those residents will be contacted and we will share the information with everyone that we can as well.
Okay, thank you. Right, item 12, Horsham District Local Plan. I think I've dealt with that one, so I think we can move on to planning applications.
I can just add to that point that we have received communication that the first consultation has started. We will produce comments from the parish council and I will share the link with the minutes for people to review and do their own consultations as well.
Okay. Thank you. I think we may need to beef that up and that starts going out with some sort of additional advertising that this is going out, because not everybody looks on their computer for this, so we're going to have to use the libraries and the schools as well to actually make sure that this gets out to the residents. DC 26931, Councillor Willis.
Chair, this is erection of a single-storey rear extension in number 5 Centenary Road. It's basically just extending the kitchen and dining area into a lounge and kitchen area. It has got a flat roof on it and a rather large lantern light roof illumination. It's not seen from the road. It's not overlooked in the gardens. So I've got no objection.
Okay, can I propose it for that, please? Seconder. All in favour? No objection. Councillor Pearce, the 26941. I don't think there's an objection to that, was there?
That's no objection, but did state that the building regulations should be looked at in relation to the distance of the eaves from the boundary due to the ground floor side extension.
Okay, right here. Proposer for no objection. Seconder, Councillor Moore, Councillor Willis, all in favour? Thank you. No objection. Number 260871, felling of One Oak, in office.
In office, that's not been inspected yet, so I'll have to refer back.
Okay, all happy to defer and delegate? Okay, thanks. DC 26, these are applications for consideration with a deadline prior to the meeting, which already have been submitted. And this is just for general approval of those items. DC 260828, conversion of a garage to additional accommodation, alterations to the front and extension. No objection. The property is a semi-detached house, linked garage to the other side of the property. Appraisal to convert existing garage. This is Councillor Moore. You can read that out. No, I'll do it. It'll be quicker. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's no objection. Property is a semi-detached property with a linked garage, wall to the other side of the property. Proposal to convert existing garage space to ground floor extension, provide living space, WC and utility room. Proposal does not increase the number of bedrooms with the track parking, front garden. Parking capacity remains unaltered. Proposer, please. Seconder. All in favour? Thank you. The next one is land south of Stoneleigh, Councillor Haddon. Objection. Assessing the plans is the same barn detailed in DC 210558, which was permitted with certain conditions, including regulatory condition 3. SPC therefore, it's quite a long one actually, but it has been sent out to you. SPC therefore objects to the conversion of the barn dwelling to non-compliance with policy 26 of Horsham District Planning Framework, policies 1.1 and 1.2 of the neighbourhood plan. Proposer, please. Seconder. Councillor Moore, Councillor Willis, all in favour of the objection? Thank you. DC 26068, non-material amendment. This really doesn't concern us, does it?
It doesn't, it's just more for record.
Okay, right, okay. DC 260904, surgery to One Oak, no objection, in office. Thank you. Closer, seconder. Same as before. Okay, no objection, thank you. Right, DC 260761, South Waterhouse, Church Lane, South Water.
And this one,
I can't find that one.
Yeah.
260770, should be top of page 6.
Yeah.
All right.
Want me to cover that one?
I think
Oh, yes, please,
is
yeah,
that my
yeah.
one?
No.
No.
DC 260770, New South Water Sports Club, the erection of a 1.8 metre fence to separate 2 existing football pitches and a 1.1 low-level spectator barrier around the southwest and northwest edges of the north football pitch. Having reviewed the application after it was referred back to the office, we determined there is no objection. The proposal is not considered to conflict with the purpose of policy SNP 7, which seeks to retain and protect formal and informal sports areas for sporting activity. The parish council does, however, consider that the main material planning consideration is whether the proposed spectator barrier could increase spectator capacity and associated noise and affect the potential impact on neighbouring amenities. The parish council has requested that the environmental officer review, consult on this and determine whether an acoustic assessment is required.
Thank you. Proposer, seconder, all in favour? Sorry? Yeah. Trouble is, you've got loads of people from the Congo out there. Right. DC 260761, Councillor Moore, demolition of the garden store building. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what was the original vicarage in Church Lane, and it is a listed building. It's quite a the house itself is quite a formidable building, but in building it, they elongated the building to run for quite a way. The proposal that's been put forward is that they demolish part of the listed building to gain access to the back of it and also to be able to separate it so that then they could build another an extension onto the existing building. Now, under our neighbourhood plan and design design statements, we say we want to protect listed buildings. As this requires the demolition of a considerable part of the building, I don't think we've got any option but to say we object to it, because it's demolition of the original listed building structure. It's not something that was built on later. It was the original part. So my recommendation is that application is we object to it.
Okay, proposer? You can't propose it. You can propose it. Seconder? All in favour? Thank you. Objection. 7 Cedar Drive, South Water. Councillor Everard. No objection. Small alteration proposed are in keeping with existing building. You happy with that? Yeah. Proposer? Seconder? All in favour? Thank you. No objection. Then Northwest of South Water. This came to me and the consultants. A full report has been prepared by Andrew Metcalf on our behalf and been signed off by our officers downstairs. It's quite a large document. Can we send it out to all the councillors? But basically, it's the objections that were raised previously.
The letter was sent out today.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we could all have a copy of it.
Want to propose that?
Okay. Brilliant. Planning.
Suppose that, or record just note.
It's
Yeah.
noting that it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Can we all in favour of noting it? Thank you. Item 15, planning appeals.
We have received the appeal decision in respect of DC 240204 land at Jackcrawls Lane, which is in favour of Holbrook Animal Rescue. A copy of the appeal was sent out to all councillors upon receipt.
Thank you. District council decisions which have been sent out for information only via email. Planning compliance matters.
I don't have the figures for June yet, so I can't provide those, but once I get them, I will put them in the minutes for you.
Okay.
We have received 3 new complaints. Well, 2 new complaints, 1 update. Sorry, EN 2610157 relating to Beckley Stud, Reeds Lane. A notice has now been issued for the unauthorised operational development for the creation of a new vehicle crossover access without planning permission. The 2 new complaints are EN 260197, Rascals Farm, Shipley Road, alleged mud on the road from construction traffic, and EN 260202, land at Campsfield, Linfield Road, alleged commencement of work on site prior to planning application approval.
Okay, thank you very much. That deals with planning compliance. Date of the next meeting is the 2nd of September 2026. Except my apologies for that because I'll be out of the country. Thank you very much for attending, everybody.
Meeting finished at 6:42. Thank you.